Hello folks, welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. Today we're doing kind of a redo. I did earlier I did a video of comparing small rifle primer to small pistol primer. Unfortunately, when I did the test, I used different powders and that could skew numbers, and I did mention that in the first video. So today we're kind of redo it. This time, you saw in the intro the bullets I'm using, the powder I'm using, the measurement I'm using. The only difference is we're gonna measure if I have any bullet jump in the cylinders to see if my crimps are done properly, which could also change the cartridge overall length, which then could also skew the numbers on the chronograph. So a lot of things going on. So today, viewer suggestion, we'll shoot half of the cylinder, measure the cartridge, and see if we have any jump on the bullets. So let's get right to it. All right, folks. So I have the trusty Ruger GP100. I have loaded up right now 6 rounds with the small pistol primers, and let's see what we get today. Now everything's exactly the same except for primers today. So here we go. Yeah, picked up. And I think last time I was too much of a rush to get the numbers, and my chronograph didn't pick up anything. So again, I'm liking this Winchester 244. It's shooting well out of this revolver, and numbers are looking pretty darn good, and it's looking like it picked up everything today. And so far, yeah, all 6 rounds, and as you can see, numbers look pretty darn good with the small pistol primer. So now we're going to go ahead and load up small rifle primers and see what we get. All right, folks, so now I have the small rifle primers in the Ruger GP100. You saw in the intro the primers and the powder that I'm using and the projectile I'm using. So let's see if we pick up. Yeah. Ooh, bit of pop there. Numbers are looking good. That should be 6. Yeah. Yeah, looks like a little improvement there. All right, let's try another revolver now. All right, folks, so now I have the Smith & Wesson 686 competitor. It now has the small pistol primers in here loaded, and let's see what kind of numbers we get. Again, same powder, same brass. The only difference, same projectile, the only difference is the primers. Okay, it picked up. It should be 6. Numbers look pretty decent. So let's switch it up. We'll now put in the small rifle primers. All right, folks, now I have the small rifle primers, same projectile, same amount of bullets. Oh, darn it. I forgot to measure bullet jump. So let's do it on this one. So let's get 3 shots in. I guess we could have done this with the small pistol primer, but totally forgot. Sorry guys. Let's let's do this one. All right. So here we go. That's 3. So now let's go ahead and measure. So I have the caliper out. These are from the 6A6 competitor with the small rifle primers. What I normally measure is about 1.580 for cartridge overall length. Now, with these cast lead bullet, there is going to be some slight variance, and they have, you know, these little tips to them, and not all of them are perfectly the same size. But in terms of if I had any real significant lengthening, I have one here that's at 1.583, 1.583, and 1.582. So honestly, I don't think I'm really having any of the bullets jumping in the cylinder, just because it's only a 2,000 through 3,000 variance. Now you could argue and say, yeah, that makes a huge difference, and it's true. But there's also the variance that, you know, I seeded inconsistently because I don't measure every round when I reload. I kind of measure the first 4 or 5, and if it's consistent within a 1/2000th variance, even up to 3,000 variance, I'm okay with that. So I don't think I'm having any bullet jump. I think my crimp is pretty good, and it doesn't look like, looking at the projectile, doesn't look like the bullet is actually moved at all. So let's go ahead and continue shooting. All right, so let's go ahead and finish up with the 6A6 competitor. I think I got it clocked right. So here we go. Yep, picked up. And there you have it for this particular firearm with the small rifle primer. And let's move on to the next revolver. All right, folks, now I have the Smith & Wesson Combat 66. This has the small pistol primers, same projectile, same powder, same brass. So here we go. Oof, okay. So it looks like it picked all of them, and the numbers look awesome. I totally forgot to do the caliber. I was just so excited looking at the numbers. Anyways, we'll do it on the small rifle primer. All right, so now I have small rifle primers in the Combat 66. Same projectile, same powder, same brass. This time, let's try not to forget to measure cartridge overall length. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's measure length now, since I didn't forget this time. All right, folks, I have the caliper out now, so let's measure. .584, 1.583, 1.584. So I don't think my bullets are jumping, guys. I think the crimps are working. So let's go ahead and keep shooting. Here we go. Wow. Single digit SD, folks. So let's get on to the next one and see how that does. All right, folks. So I have the Colt Cobra. This is with the small pistol primer, and hopefully I remember to measure with the small pistol primer, measure the cartridge overall life. So let's get going. Oh, I flinched. Okay, so I have the caliper out, folks. So let's see where we're at. Let's get 1.580. This is 1.584. 1.584. 1.585. So a little longer, and I have a funny feeling it might be just the way these bullets are. They're just not consistent. All right, folks, so let's go ahead and finish out this test on the small pistol primer. So here we go. All right, numbers don't look so bad at all. 11.9. Let's see if they're any better with the small rifle primer. Let me load up a new cylinder. All right, so now I have a cylinder of the small rifle primer in the Cobra, and let's get shown. See if we pick up here. Oop, little hang fire. Just hey, wait a few seconds. Okay, here we go. Yep, another one. Hang tight. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, let me measure the ones that didn't go off. Let's see. 1.581. 1.580. 1.584. So I think it's just a variance in the bullets. Also variance in the way my bullet seeder does. And looking at where my crimp is and the position of the bullet, it doesn't look, it's an obvious jump or movement in the bullet. So let's keep shooting. Okay, hopefully the other two rounds that do go off goes off. It looked like they were just light primer strikes. So let's see. Nope, didn't go off. See that the second one does. Yep, that went off. That last one went off. So let's cycle through. Let's see if I can get this one to go. Nope. Just hang tight for a second. All right, folks, so with the same brass, same powder, same projectile, just different primers and different revolvers, I got to look at the data, and in terms of overall, it was actually worse using small rifle primer in my revolvers. It wasn't like a huge difference, but if I was to look at the just SDs alone, the small pistol primers actually did better. Again, not by a big margin. So comment below now. Let me know, what do you think? As far as measuring bullet jump in between cylinders, I just got into the picking up the data. I kind of forgot on the small pistol primers to measure, but in terms of any type of bullet jump, I don't believe I'm having any type of bullet jump. I am using a roll crimp on there. I'm using cast lead bullet, so I don't measure every bullet to make the projectile to make sure they're consistently the same length. So yeah, you could say, well, he had variance in his COL length, yes, but I'm not the kind of reloader who measures every single cartridge that I produce. The only time I really do that is for rifle loads, just because I want to get, that's more the accuracy kind of round for me, whereas the revolvers they're more plinking consistent rounds. So yes, you could say that, oh, there's variance in the projectile, you should be using a different projectile. Yes, I totally agree. But for my purposes, for me, it tells me I can use both small pistol primer, small rifle primer. That's all I wanted to really prove on the series of videos I did. Just that I've never heard of using small rifle primers in a pistol cartridge. So it's cool that I know it actually works. Second, I know that Winchester 244 is a great powder. It works. I haven't had any weird issues. I think the only thing I had weird was the light primer strike in the Colt revolver. I took that last cartridge that didn't fire and put in the Ruger GP100, and it actually went off fine. But I think I read a commenter saying that the small rifle primer cups are a little harder than a small pistol primer. I don't know. I didn't actually do any research on that, but that might be true, and that might be the reason why that Colt had 2 or 3 rounds that didn't go off. Took a second time going through the revolver, but all my other revolvers, no problem at all. So for me, Winchester 244, small rifle primer, it works. Did it give better overall numbers? Not really, but it works. And it didn't make the numbers that much worse. So whatever is available on the shelf for me to purchase in terms of small rifle primer, I can use that in my revolver loads or the small pistol primers. Hope you folks enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.